Greetings, everyone, and happy Fresh Friday. This is Akunna, and we are back with another episode of Fresh Friday. We're super excited to be with you here today, and just know that these Fresh Friday episodes, you don't have to tune in live in order to get the information. We have several other episodes. If you go on the live page on the Juamoto restaurant page, and you can still get all of this information. So I know sometimes it may not be convenient for you to hop on while we're going live, but just know that these are always saved, so you can go on back and get the information about the different items located in the restaurant for you to purchase, amazing different dishes that you can try, as well as the herbs that we've been highlighting. So we're going to get started here, and we're going to have Dr. Tao. Here we go.
Hey, Akunna, how you doing?
Greetings, Dr. Tao.
Doing great.
Doing well. How are you? Awesome.
Thank
Happy
you.
Fresh Friday. Yeah, I'm sitting here all cozied up because it's cold here, but excited to hear.
It's really good today.
How's the weather out there?
Nice. I think we're like in the 70s today. So, yeah, it feels pretty good. It's a sunny sky here.
I miss that. Oh my gosh, I know I'm soaking it in from just seeing it.
And they're building apartments down here too. They're almost, they get the infrastructure down, so.
Oh, wow.
You see that went up quick since you've been here.
That's definitely.
I'm like, whoa.
Yes, definitely.
So,
I know. I remember when it was just a sign saying it was going to happen.
I mean, I don't have much more to go. Once you get the foundation and structure, and then it's just filling in from there. So, yeah.
Man. So if you all see, they're going to be apartments right across the street from the restaurant. So
exactly right.
That's high value in itself.
Cool.
All right. So what are we speaking on today?
First, we're going to go through. This is called chickweed herb. Chickweed. And this one is to help get over addictions or cravings. So really, that's one of the main things you want to pinpoint when you're dealing with a client is the cravings for the foods that are not beneficial for them. So if you go to the biochemistry to that helps knock out that chemical craving that they may have, because the craving is coming from the chemical of the food, which is lodged within the organ. So a lot of times people may eat a lot of bready foods or pastas and stuff like that, carbohydrates, because they want to create that alcohol in the body. So you have two chemicals that's always created from the food. The food chemical itself and the chemical byproduct that it creates in the body. So the chickweed actually addresses both of those so that they can get over those addictions and you can kind of get them in the right path. So it all comes down to craving. So really chickweed herb is one of the most powerful when it comes to addressing that. But it's not just for food cravings, it's for all addictions. It's all biochemical imbalances.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Along with the peacock ore crystal. Peacock ore works with chemical imbalances too. That's why you see all those different kaleidoscope of colors there. But anyway, so there's always going to be an herb for something, a mineral for something, a vitamin for something, and just basically amino acid for something. So you have for the amino acid would be glutamic acid. The mineral would be chromium. The vitamin would be vanadium sulfate, and the actual herb would be chickweed. So those are all something you can use to address chemical imbalances. So.
Okay, so that would be a good one for someone who is in the process of changing the way they eat and like wanting to detox or start eating more raw and more fresh foods too.
There's an herb called kudzu. I don't have it here, but kudzu works with alcohol addictions too. A lot of stuff you can find in nature. A lot of it grows along the interstate. You can just pick it for free. But the chickweed does the same thing. It works on addictions, alcoholism, and any type of bad addiction you may have. It works on that. So.
Yeah, that's good to know. A lot of times people try to treat
Exactly.
substance abuse with more substances that are
Well, that
natural.
comes from the
I don't think
ideology in the
that works
Western
very well.
medicine world that contrary cures opposite. And what that means is if someone's sick with
Mm,
something, then I will get them a greater sickness so they can overcome the lesser sickness that they had. So that's what they call contrary cures opposite.
wow.
So the medical industry is in the Western world gives you actual sickness to overcome the lesser sickness that you may have. So that's one of the that's it's a very backwards way of thinking, but that's the way they approach medicine. And so they just give you a drug which is going to cause you
Wow.
to get sick, and hoping that that sickness will push out that lesser sickness. And that's the whole idea. So yeah.
That's crazy.
So
All right,
the next
chickweed
one is
berry.
juniper.
And what's
You
number
probably can't really
two?
see it down here because it's dark, but it's called juniper berry. And the juniper berry works on the
Okay.
kidneys itself specifically. So you take this along with bitter cola, and it helps people get off dialysis. So this is very strong for the kidneys,
Mm,
any type of nephritis or kidney issues or urinating too much or just even skin issues, because a lot of times your skin issues are happening at the kidneys or the liver itself. The juniper berry works specifically
mm.
on that. So you can actually make a tea out of this or you can just chew on it. It's a berry and it's
Oh,
sweet
wow.
and bitter. Its first bite is sweet, but then becomes more bitter. It's not the most pleasant tasting, but it does work very
Mm.
efficiently. Typically, I subscribe this for people who are
Yeah.
in the sign of Leo, Virgo, and Libra. They typically have more susceptibility to kidney issues. So, but yeah, that's
Mm.
one of the good herbs here. But some people do make a sauce out of this as well. But it's not
Mm.
food that we really eat. But people make like a deer meat sauce with juniper berry. But so if you ever see that, that's what the
Mm.
same herb is
Interesting.
here. But um,
And if you were to like cook with these herbs, would you say that it gets it to too high of a heat for it to still be active, or would it still
you can
kind of
cook
work?
with
Does it
them.
depend on the herb?
You want to keep it low heat as possible to kind of keep the. If you're going to be cooking something for an hour or more, you may want to put it in towards the end. But as long as you get them in your
Mm.
spice, once you get them in your diet, it's going to have some type of benefit for you. But I wouldn't recommend like the flowers and stuff. Put that stuff towards the end. Kind of like fresh herbs. You don't want to put fresh herbs in the beginning of a dish. You want to put it towards the end because it's kind of wilt and
Right.
die on you. So the same principle with those.
That
So, but yeah, you can
makes
cook with them all.
sense.
They're all really all.
Yeah.
They're all basically spices, and what we used to call these herbs. We used to call them medicaments. They're called medicaments, and
Mm.
spice just means small amount. So they
Oh, okay.
the terminology kind of got changed there. They call it seasonings today because they can change the seasoning of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So the mint family keeps you cool. The
Mm.
the pepper families make you hot. So, but this word seasoning was predicated upon how you can season a slave to be a good slave. So you want to season them, meaning that you want to season their behavior to act a certain way. So you want to make a food to taste a certain way, you have to season it. So the seasoning word has a double meaning there behind that. But they were truly called medicaments, meaning that they're truly medicines. All the herbs that we use
Mm.
in culinary, the basil, the rosemary, those are all medicaments. So if I were to take cherry bark
Wow.
and okra leaves and make an actual uh, tea out of that, I could actually put it into like a spray bottle, and that's your strongest insect repellent on the planet. So just take okra leaves and cherry bark
Mm.
leaves or cherry bark and make an insect repellent. So they all have medicinal purposes behind them that outside of what we made, outside the taste of the food. But yeah, there's a lot of history behind it. So once you study
Wow.
agriculture, you already kind of tap into a lot of history because you can't really have history without feeding people who lived back then. So there's a story behind that. So
Right.
we say all
Yeah.
the source of all medication is vegetation. So,
Mm. I like that. Okay. That's a nice one. And So bitter cola and cola nut are actually used in Nigeria to like welcome people to your home. It's like almost like a little, they do like
Okay.
almost like a ceremony type thing. So I had some when we visited a king's house, and I had some of the bitter
Yeah.
cola because I had a little bit of a cough, and they're like, eat this, it's gonna help.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely bitter for
it's definitely
sure.
bitter.
And that actually goes into what we call African astrology. And the kola nut is the sign of what they would call the sign of Leo today. So, there's
Oh
Kemetic
wow,
astrology,
I had
there's
no
Vedic
idea.
astrology, there's all types of astrology, but no one ever really tapped into African centered astrology, which is another astrology system. So the kola nut would be the sign from August all the way to the end of August. So late July and like mid late August. It's called the kola nut sign. So.
Wow. Okay. Thank you all so much for the comments. Desiree says this is a great weekly live and that she loves learning. And then Choose Love Always is saying, thank you for pouring into the community with the knowledge. Your existence is appreciated. Thank you all for tuning in. All right.
I don't
And
have
what
much
is herb number 3
left, but this
today?
is the Black Cohosh root guide. And this works on
Okay.
the non-somatic cells and the gametes. So this is typically for reproductive purposes. If the cycle is too long, or if someone has a lot of or had a lot of sexual partners and they want to cleanse that energy from that person or those previous partners, the black cohosh and the blue cohosh, those two work in conjunction to work on those. So say it was somebody you were with and you just don't like their energy, you're regretting why you got with that person, the woman can actually clean her wound out with the black cohosh. So that's a very powerful one when it comes to that. But it also,
Okay. And so
you want
ingesting or
to
using
actually want to
externally
ingest
or
it. So
both?
you can actually ingest
Okay.
it. And yeah, so you can actually douche with it too, but you can actually ingest it and it will help with that resetting that aura for that person. So I know some women I've prescribed that to who had some partners in the past and they didn't want to kind of release from that energy, and they would use the black cohosh for that. So,
Ladies, I hope you're listening because sometimes sometimes we need to cleanse that energy away. Not even
yeah,
sometimes. I
that's a very
recommend
very
for
powerful one
everyone
for
for
sure.
sure.
But yeah, like I said, it works on the
Yeah.
non-somatic cells too, and the gametes, so the
Awesome.
reproductive cells, um, like like your gender. So the word gender means to begin. Third means the beginning of the door. So gender actually means to reproduce, technically speaking.
Some people would say otherwise, but okay. Thank you. So we talked about chickweed herb, juniper berries, and black cohosh root today. And we do have just a few questions here. Desiree asks, when you were in school, what was helpful to remembering all the information?
Information memory is synonymous with motion. So your memory is your nervous system. So the more a child is moving, the better their memory is typically. So when you stop moving, stop exercising, stop putting things in motion, then it becomes dead. So if someone was to go to a mall and they want to go shop at a long time, but they want to go park in the parking deck, and they parked in E6. All right, you don't just try to remember E6 where you parked at. You take the letter E and you make it an elephant, and then you make the number 6, meaning it has 6 appendages, it has a nose, a trunk, and 4 legs. And then you may make it pink, and you may give it polka dots. See, now that what that does, it takes the information and it files it. It gives it motion. This is why we used to write it in pictures or hieroglyphics of any nature, because it takes information. You have to put it into something. So when I take a file and I put it into a filing cabinet, I'm taking the file, putting it in, and I'm pushing it into there. That's motion. You see. So memory is synonymous with motion. So if you're learning information in school, you have to give it life to it. You can't just say this is E equals MC squared or the quadratic formula. You have to give it life to it. You see. So I have to say, okay, I have Pythagoras theorem. I have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So I have 2 squares and I have a square that fell on top of it on the side. So it made a right angle. So I have a square here and a square
Mm,
right there, and a square that tilted and fell over on the side, which made a right angle to the earth. So now I have motion, I have something
right.
I can see, you see. So I have a square plus another square equals the c squared, you see. So I give it
Yeah.
life to it, you see. So I'm not just looking at things
Right.
from a theoretical standpoint. I'm looking at it from how can I, what in nature represents this so I can interact with it. So you want to take two-dimensional
Right.
information and make it three-dimensional so you can have an interface with it. Keep in mind that also reading from left to right causes the vitamin A deficiency. So you have to keep your vitamin A content higher in the mind, in the body. So certain things you want to keep in mind just when it comes to just understanding information, how to move it, how to file it, and how it represents itself in nature.
Right. Wow. That is very helpful. I'm a very visual person. So as you were talking about the E6, I'm like picturing this elephant and like you said, giving it motion. So that was very, very helpful. Um, so there are a couple more questions, but I know you have to open soon. So I'll just read off a few comments. And someone's asking, well, first of all, somebody who's here from El Salvador, Raw Jules, says, so informative, sending love and blessings. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Love and Faith and Purpose says this is life-changing information. Amazing. Glad we can help and provide. Well, I'm just here. It's Dr. Tao that's really
Teamwork.
providing it. Choose Love Always says, are these herbs available at your restaurant or can you recommend where to purchase? Yes, they are available in restaurant and they will be on Dr. Tao's website, which is doctor spelled out, tau.com, within the next few days by the end of this week, so Sunday. Let's see. Thank you so much for the amazing comments, Erica. And also, just before we hop off, I also want to say that there's a special event on Sunday with Xaviera Davis. She will be speaking on making wellness a priority. So make sure you come in. That starts at 2 p.m. Today we are open until 3 p.m. and then Saturday and Sunday until 5. Thank you so much for typing out the website. And yes, Dr. Tao's always being humble. He is amazing, definitely a prodigy, and has a wealth of knowledge. So, yes, thank you all so much for tuning in. Was there anything else you wanted to end with today, Dr.
Just
Tao?
try to eat the rainbow every day, the colors. Keep that, the Shekam Shinras, what you call chakras. The Indians call it the Dantian. Keep those stimulated every day so that you can access your full emotional vocabulary. So that's part of being, a spiritual thinker or a human being, they call it. So just keep the colors around you. Like you see, the restaurant has a lot of colors here. You see, so we keep colors around us everywhere, and do the best you can. Take it one day at a time. Don't beat yourself up about it, and just try to eat less, but efficiently. Make that one meal count. So,
Right.
yeah, just do the best you can, and I appreciate you guys for allowing me to be here too. So.
Right, right. Well, thank you again. This has been another episode of Fresh Friday. Thank you all. You all are so kind. The compliments are just rolling in today. We love it. We love it. So make sure you come on into the restaurant. Again, open till 3 p.m. today, 5 p.m. tomorrow, and Sunday. Oh, thank you. See, we're a dope
Hey,
combo. We need to have a show.
you
We
got
need
your
to
channel? You want to promote your
have a
channel
show.
too, Akunna?
When I
When you get it going, okay, I
when
got
I
you.
get it,
I got you.
going a little bit more than but yeah, someone asked for my handle, so I put it there. And yeah, like he said, just keep going, keep trying, because I know days I wake up and it's like
It's real out here. Yeah.
but the more that we, even the colors help with that as well. So keeping that in mind, and just try your best, and you will reap the rewards of that. So again, happy Fresh Friday. And we hope that we trust you will have a beautiful day today.
All right, thanks.
Peace.